Welcome to This Week in Weiss Schwarz, where we take a look at Weiss Schwarz's news and cards of the day. This is super late because I hurt my hand walking. Just that. I was just walking. So it is better now where I could write the script and edit the video, so we're all good there. And yes, the length of the video is accurate, so click on those timestamps to jump around where you need to go. We're gonna be here for a while. So before we get started, hello new subscribers, glad you could make it. So go watch the video where I talked about some Yang cards that Bushiroad gracefully gave me to do a world premiere for. And with self-promotion out of the way, we have a lot of cards to talk about. So again, super long episode. So hopefully you have a snack and you have some water as well, because we're gonna be here for a while. Let's start off with Danmachi. Let's start off with that. The booster packs and the trial decks for Danmachi are going to be released on November 26th, and this set is coming out in English Weiss Schwarz. So if you're an English only player, you are gonna have to wait a year, but the trade-off is you could read your cards. I'm going to wait because I want to support my local card shop, and it's just really nice to have Weiss Schwarz products just readily available and not going through like external means to get these cards. I like the convenience, like definitely like the convenience. Either way, we're not going to stay too long on the trial decks. Here are your signed cards. First Class Adventure Eyes is a 1 or less characters. This gains 1k5 power, and she is a chaser. Goddess Hestia lets you ditch a card and free fresh and on play from hand. Play a character from your hand whose level is equal to or lower than your level, and that character gains 2k power. We also do have the Toothbrush and Scene in the trial deck. No, not that one. The level 1 combo is pretty interesting and a little advanced for newer players because there is a lot going on, and there is a memory clause as well. Not a really good starting point, but hey, they gotta learn eventually. So now, we did talk a good majority of the cards that were recently shown in a previous episode of This Week in Weiss Schwarz, so go check that out. I am gonna skip those because I'm gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes.
What's up? It's Lunchbox from the future, currently editing this, and it is under 30 minutes. I did it. Congratulations me. I did it.
Supporter Lilly states that on play from hand, bounce an opponent's character back into their hand, and this card can side attack with no penalty. And on attack, you could pay to ditch a dungeon exploration Lilly, which I have talked about in a previous episode. Choose one of your other characters, and they gain the following ability: cancel burn 1. That is a pretty solid card. Granted, you do need to have a specific character in your hand, and it would be great if this card had the ability to grab that card, but the siding is still kind of nice though. It fits the character. The one thing though is that this isn't a supporter card. It's in the name, but it doesn't support any of the characters. I personally would have liked it if she was wearing the big bag to have like all her supporter effects, and then when she wasn't wearing the bag, she'd be more like an offensive character. Doesn't matter, she's still great. Doing multiple part-time jobs Hestia is on play top check 3 at an event. Then you ditch a card from your hand. And on play from hand, choose an opponent's character and they cannot move to another area. That is a pretty nice effect. You are going to be running events in certain builds, which we will be getting to. You get some mills, and if you mill the event, doesn't matter. It'll make sense a lot later. And she is an anti-runner as well, which she's only at 1k5 power, so you're not really throwing a wrench at your opponent, just annoying them more than anything. Doesn't matter, she's still great. I'm not gonna say this card's name out loud. States that if you have human occupation Hestia, which again talked about in the previous episode, she is an early drop. This card gains 500 power for each other character, and on play, bottom clock heal. Pretty solid, fairly easy to get the early drop condition going, and what is nice is that the heal is from the bottom of the deck. So for the turn, if you clocked the Hestia, you're not gonna lose the early play condition because it's gonna be healing from the bottom of the deck, which is very nice. I would also love to see the Pokemoms get a peek at this. Shout out to all my Pokemon fans, none of you. And Danmachi has always been a provocative series, I'd say. As a person who's played the mobile gacha RPG game, I did not spend any real money on it, I swear. I could safely say that I'm going to keep a good grip on this card over here. And if you're watching this, I'm glad to meet another card carrying member. Alright, here's a combo that's gonna sound familiar. First Adventure Bell states that on attack, this card gains power equal to the amount of fire bolts in the waiting room. And Climax combo, when you play Unyielding Thoughts, if this card is in your front row and you have another character, you could either search or salvage a Hestia's Knife. The Climax is a 1k1 and a door when triggered. So before we get to that, we have to talk about these events. Firebolt is the 1-0 event that states salvage a character whose level is equal to the amount of First Adventure Bells in the waiting room. Oddly specific, but it's okay. If anything, you're going to be salvaging a copy of itself, so you gain power from it in the waiting room. Also, the Hestias do work here because you are going to potentially be milling those bells, which in turn you could salvage them with the Firebolt, and then they gain power on attack, and you see, this is called synergy. It's what card games do. These are the kind of effects I like. It's all a big cycle. It all works condensed in itself. This is great. Also, yeah, there's more light. I didn't notice it was that low. Alright, what's the other card? Hestia's Knife is the name of the knife. It's not Hestia's Knife the way that it's written. Or actually, is the knife being described as being Hestia-like? Because I don't really see that. I'm probably thinking way too much into this. Either way, it is a 1-0 counter event. You cannot play this card if you do not have a Bell or Hestia character. And if you do not have a Bell character, you cannot use this as a counter. And you can also play this card without fulfilling the color condition. Top check 4 cards. Reveal a character, add it to their hand. Alright. That is really good. Now, I said this may sound familiar, and to all the newer players, this is considered a torch-like combo. Goblin Slayer has a similar effect that snags the event. We do have this Darkness card that has a torch-like effect, but it's for 2 specific characters. The Bell is more torch-like because the Knife is literally the torch event from Goblin Slayer. So just a heads up for my newer players if you hear that term floating around at your locals. Alright, we're gonna take a break now, and we're gonna go to the third product in this video, Zombieland Saga, the Trial Decks. But before we get onto that, enjoy this ad. Yes, that is right. I have the power to play ads in the middle of the video. I'll see y'all later. Y'all gave me too much power. I swear. I need money. Zombieland Saga Trial Decks, they're pretty good, and the stylized pop art is really gorgeous as well. We have Oh Saga Cry With Me I that states during your turn if you have 2 or more other characters, this gains 2k power, and once per turn, during the turn that this card is placed on stage from your hand, when this card trigger checks a soul trigger, burn 3, and this card gains 2k power. I want to talk about this card because remember in last week's video where I talked about secondary level 3s? This is solid right here. You get to potentially snipe one of your opponent's climaxes this way and push for damage, because if the burn sticks, great, that's fine. But if the hit sticks, that is literally 1 more point of damage for game. I will be straight up. It happens. Shit like this happens all the time. It's called getting Weissed. It happens often. Speaking of secondary level 3s, here's another one. Oh Saga Cry With Me Tai states that if you have 2 or less stock, this gains 1k5 power, and on attack, you can pay 2. Top check your deck. If it's a character, this gains 11k power. That is right, that is not a typo. 11k power at a level 0. Granted, you still have the chance that you're gonna miss because you gotta top check a character. You are gonna be running a lot of events. Alright, let's be honest, you're gonna be running a lot of events in this deck. I'll be straight up. It happens. Shit like this happens all the time. It's called getting Weissed, and it happens often. Oh my god, I fucking love ties so much. Alright, straight up, all the tie cards have been so good. They've been really funny. I absolutely fucking love Tai so much. Like, oh my god, dude. Like, all her cards are great. All her cards are great. Just every single one. Fun fact, y'all know that Tai is voiced by Kotono Mitsuishi, who is the original voice actress of Sailor Moon from '92. That is not a joke. Look it up. And that also really just makes me wish that Tai had a signed card as opposed to just like the little that. Actually, let me double check, because doesn't Tai actually have a signed card? Alright, just looked it up. Yes, she does have a signature. Great! I would love to have a legendary voice actress in my collection. Not just another lame Asuna card. Or, hell, even a lame stamp card. This is actual, like, importance in the anime community. I say that, but I still want the little thumbprint, though. I'm torn. Also, for the people complaining that there is no zombies in Zombieland Saga, 1, there are zombies in the trial deck, so you could get your fix there. 2, go outside, touch some grass, breathe some fresh air, call your family, get off Facebook. Also, I'm excited to see this card as a super rare. I hope it really looks nice because it has the potential of either looking really nice or really bad. Personally, I think it's gonna look great, but we're gonna have to wait and see when we actually get the product. And, what? Another ad break? I'm kidding. Look at this Himari figure that I bought. Alright, let's go on over to the Zombieland Saga booster pack. There is one combo I wanted to talk about. Sudden zombie exposure. Wait a minute, there's a zombie right here. On play heal, and on play marker the event repairing. And climax combo. After this card's attack, if you have 50 and 4 things left behind in play, you could send the marker to the waiting room, mill the bottom 4 cards of your opponent's deck, and burn 1 equal to the amount of climaxes milled. The climax is a 1k1 and a gold bar when trigger. Repairing is a 3-1 event. Burn 1, then you give a character 3k power. That is interesting, but there are some issues. Obviously, the big issue is getting the event itself, but there are a lot of ways to get events. But those are mainly, you know what. This is an interesting combo, and I kind of like it. What is not good is that you are going to have to play the event if you have it in your hand, and you're gonna potentially miss the 3k boost. Hopefully you already have it in your waiting room. When you play the Junko, you get the marker, you play an event, burn 1, and you boost up the Junko. Get another one in your waiting room, play another Junko. That way you at least have 2 Icy Tails on board. This effect is fine. The burn is pretty solid. You burn 1 depending on how many climaxes you milled. So if you milled 2, you burn 1 twice. There's a lot of memory decks running around in JP, so that is good news for this card. Alright, so now that we got some zombies out of the way, let's head over to the English side of Weiss Schwarz. We're now going to cover some RWBY cards. If I don't look, it might go away. And with that, let's talk about the SP cards in RWBY. RWBY rule states that if all your characters are remnant characters, this gains 2k power, on play heal, and climax combo. Memory, rest this card. When RWBY's Awakening is placed on stage, if this card is in your center stage and your memory has 2 or more Pirha Fall Maiden's Vessel candidate, you can rest this card. Burn 3, then choose the level 3 or lower character facing this card, send it to your opponent's clock. The climax is a standby and a standby in soul when triggered. Is this Megumin? Hell yes, and I'm for it. Bring it out early so you could get set up with some extra copies, and the clock shoot is super nice. And if your opponent clears their board because they know what's coming up, you could still attack or still use the rest effect to burn 3. This also goes around any rest counter because this effect activates when the climax is played. Very nice. We also do not know what card is needed in the memory, and I do hope it is something that you could use to gain advantage, like the Wildberry Princess in Adventure Time. That is pretty much the gold standard now, honestly. Here's another combo. Weiss Schwarz, almost said Weiss Schwarz, states that if you have 2 or more other characters, this gains 2k power in climax combo. On attack, if you have Team RWBY in play, if all of your characters are remnant characters, top check 3, your opponent adds a character or an event to your hand. Then you choose a revealed card that was not added to your hand and place it to the top of your deck, and then you ditch the other one. The climax is a 1k1 and an arch when triggered. I kind of like this, but I also kind of don't. Okay, so first of all, the effect is activated on my turn. This is my card. I paid for it. It is my deck. Why would I want to let my opponent choose what card to add to my hand? Maybe I'm just being an asshole, but I do not like card effects that let my opponent choose my fate. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I want to minimize interaction between myself and my opponent. Granted, they are able to grab only characters and events. Alright, sounds fine. But if you're in a pinch, you're not able to grab what you need. Your opponent is going to be in control of that. I don't like that. But then you choose what you put on top of your deck and then you ditch the last remaining card. That way, you know what you're gonna trigger. I think you know where I'm going with this. This is a great way to keep your stock clean of climaxes and to be more in control of what you're gonna trigger. You don't want to really overswing, so swinging for 2 is going to be pretty good, you know, depending on your opponent's deck size and everything. Gauge what you need. But more importantly, your stock is going to be clean. I still kind of don't like it, but it is a plus where you're not in control of that plus. But your stock will be clean and you're going to be getting 3 cards out of your deck because the trigger is going to be the same card that's revealed. Yeah, it was a long-winded sentence. Moving on. Blake Belladonna, sorry for the accent, is a 2 or less climax early drop. This gains 1k power for each character in your back row, and she is on play from hand, stock heal. Great. Standard, nothing wrong here. Nothing wrong with standard. So moving on. Here we go. Yang Xiaolong states that on play from hand, top check your deck, and if it's a remnant character, give a character 2k power for the turn. And she is a clean cut. Very nice. You can power up herself so you can better utilize that clean cut or play during your level 1, 2, or 3 just to run over some things. It's a good utility card overall. All right, now we're going to move on to... Oh my god, what is that? Zoe states that on play from hand, mill 2. If you milled a climax, you could ditch a card, search a character, and on play from hand, pay 1, ditch 1, salvage a character, and then you give another remnant character 1k power for the turn. Wow, is this my favorite card? Yeah. Maybe. On play, mill 2, if you hit a climax, you ditch, you search a character, and if you didn't mill a climax, you don't have to pay the cost. And then you can pay the cost for the drop search. Because both effects activate at the same time, you get to choose. So I'd say use the first effect, that way you have a bigger pool to choose from. Very nice, no downsides in running this. Sticking to the English news, there is a report on the official website talking about the level 3 quintessential quintuplet combos. You already know what you're running because your heart told you who your favorite character is. But you're going to be running the Ichika. Yeah, the Ichika level 3 combo is arguably the best one. Especially when Quints Volume 2 comes out, arguably the better one. Either way, go check it out. It's a good read, and go watch this video that I made talking about the level 1 combos. And with that, thank you all for watching.
I didn't tell you to stop, boyo. You're going to keep talking about these cards as a punishment. I hope you like the Capo.
I mean, I don't really like it
no,
much. I'm more
good.
of a Versailles
Talk about the
guy,
Capo cards
but,
now, if you know what's good for you.
Okay. Here are the Decapo cards that feature the voice actresses that are exclusive to this set. These cards are reprints of these cards, which again are exclusive to this extra booster set. And the following cards are all reprints in this set. Now this, I would love if they did this for Bane Dream, or like Love Live, or Idolmaster, or hey, Zombieland Saga, or something like that. So actually, Bushy, are you still here? Can you do that for us? Nah, I'm not gonna do it. You don't need more stuff, alright? Like, come on, dude. Like, you're fine and stuff. You don't need any more. Like, you're good there. I'll catch you later, alright? No, alright, cool. Please okay, they're gone. Ah, man, I need more Afterglow bromides, honestly, because this is like the only one that is available, and now that I can do. I can do that for you. That's the one thing I can do. I probably shouldn't have said something. Either way, very nice. Some cards are reprints from the 20th anniversary circus set, so that is kind of interesting. I have talked about how you could get these. You could either get it online through the official Bushiroad website or physically at the stage performance. But super quick, there's 5 new cards, 25 reprints. The normal version, which is what the voice actress ones are called, are only available at the physical performance. So if you want to get these cards, you have to be there, or hopefully someone sells it on Yuyute. We're now going over to Assault Lilly, and I hate playing against Assault Lilly, so I'm not going to talk about it. There are 4 box topper PR cards. There are going to be additional box toppers included that are from the game set, specifically the 5-star Memoria Pajama Party. We have the early art included as well. Again, this is going to include art from Assault Lilly Bouquet, which is the anime, Last Bullet, which is the game, and Fruits, which is the Chibi Joke series. Shout out to all my Assault Lilly players. Keep popping my level 0 and my level 1 back row. Just keep fucking me over. I love you guys. You're doing great. Alright, Love Live Superstar, I got a plate. Before we get going, I just need to get this out of my system. Alright, Here we go. In this video, I talked about the breakdown for Superstar, so go watch that to get the full update. We are going to cover the Liella rares. Oh my god, do I really have to do this? This video is getting like really long. Give me one sec. Yes, I need to do this. We are going to cover the double rares, and I'm going to show the Liella rares for only one of them because, my god, there's a lot of cards. Not Giving Up Feeling Canon is a stock bomb, and on play from hand, you could pay 1, top deck clock, top check 2 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 2 characters, add them to your hand. And here are the Liella rares for Canon. Alright, we're not going to show the Liella rare cards for the following cards because honestly, they kind of got a little lazy. Here is the Cuckoo card. Here is the Cuckoo and Canon card. Here is the Canon and Cuckoo card. It is a PNG that's just being moved around, but whatever, I'm still buying it. Coco Spreading Cuckoo states that during your turn, if you have another character, this gains 3k power and climax combo. On attack, if you have Kuka in play and another character, choose a character and they gain the following ability. On reverse, search a character or 2-person study group. We currently do not have the climax. On reverse does kind of suck, but you can't give the on reverse effect to a single character that you know is going to get the reverse. If you do that, you're kind of covered there. I think this is fine. Uisu Chisato states that if you have 2 or more other characters, this gains 1k power, and when you play Wants to Stay in the Dream, and you have another character, this card gains the following ability. On attack, Twin Drive. And if you twin drive, place the top card of your stock to the waiting room. And after this card's attack, top check 3, add a character. We currently do not have a climax. That is interesting. So you don't actually pay 1 to twin drive. You twin drive, then you pay 1. That is wild, and I kind of don't use my twin drives like that. I use them as a just in case I trigger a climax, hence why I never use them first. Or when I know that the next card in my stock is a climax, I'll attack with it first just to get it out. Either way, that is good, but after this card's attack, that effect is pretty good too. This sounds like it could be on a standby, but we don't have the climax and I don't want to speculate too much. But if it is on a door, that is only going to be at 6k5 power, so you're going to have to work to get those reverses in. Charisma Galaxy Sumida is on play heal and climax combo. When you play Galaxy Duet and this card is in your front row and all of your characters are music characters, choose a character and they gain the following ability for the turn. Cancel Burn 2, or on reverse, pay 1, ditch 2, restand. We currently do not have the climax. That is great. I love it. I genuinely like this. It's super versatile. Play the clip. Play the clip right now. Ah, Gusoku Moshi. Gusoku Moshi. I love it. Founder's Daughter Ren is on play from hand. This gains 1k5 for the turn. She is a clean cut, and on reverse, if you do not have a blue card in your memory, you send this card to your memory. That is pretty good. You don't really need this after level 1, so it is a good target for it to be in your memory or in your level zone. And it's a 3k clean cut, which is pretty solid. And there we have it. I will never hurt my hand again, I promise. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Weiss Schwarz news and content. Love you all. Go watch that RWBY video that I made in partnership with Bushiroad, and I will catch you all later. Gusuko Mushi, Gusuko Mushi, Gusuko Mushi, Gusuko Mushi.